Hey guys, Dr. Prometheus here, back with another episode of our Grand Tactician. Did have a comment saying to increase the volume, so I've done that on a couple of the last videos. And we did a live stream as well of Days Gone. Do the first one of this that I've changed the sound, so go ahead and let me know down below if it's all good. I'm only going to record one, maybe two episodes today, so if it's still kind of jacked up, go ahead and let me know. In a couple episodes, we'll fix it. Okay, so I'm so used to playing a Confederate campaign. We aren't the Confederates, we're the Union. Okay, so we have the Army of Potomac. We had last time I saved it right before the battle. Had played the battle. Let's see if they actually take it. That's McClellan's army over here. Patterson, Kime, and Cadwalader. We don't have a full unit by any means. We got some rifled muskets. We have that. We're kind of just taking the slow right now. £14, okay. Cool. Repeating rifles. Jostling rifled carbines. That army with McDowell. Okay. I'm not sure if we're gonna have the same thing happen. We're working on what? Government funding. Here it is. Army of Potomac against the Department of Pennsylvania. We got double their men, but we're gonna take this battle. So they got 5,000. So I have read through some of the comments and things like that on the forums on Steam. It seems like the Confederate AI still has some wonky issues, mainly surrounded in the fact that the AI can attack fairly well, but from the side of a Union campaign, the AI is still a bit wonky in defending terrain in both battles, like the tactical map mode, but also actually defending terrain on the campaign map. So as we play through this, I did want to play a Union one, kind of test out the supply system for the player as a Union. And we might go back to a Confederate campaign at some point just because it's more fleshed out with the AI, and then we'll just kind of play it slow in a way. But I do like playing as the Union with this. It's pretty fun. I like it. So we're going to advance. We're on the Winchester battlefield. I'm going to put... They're likely going to come down this street. They're going to come down the turnpike to Romney. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to get on this forward hill there with one cannon on each side. Let's see if we can't get on the apple pie ridge. I'm going to put the first section here. Cadwalader is going to be here. Actually, Cadwalader will be in the center. Patterson will be on the far side. As for the artillery, we're going to put the 14-pound James rifles here. And then with Doubleday, this 24-pounder howitzers, we're going to put those on the top of the ridge here. Yeah, I do read as many comments as I can as you guys leave. I do go through the forums a bit. So what we might end up doing is eventually going back to a Confederate campaign. in this and kind of see how the changes in Unity have kind of changed the AI for the Union AI. Oops. Clicked off screen there. Oops. I did notice I did have the desktop audio off, but did fix it before the battle, so that works. There was no audio before this, so we're not playing with any music. I don't want any copyright or anything like that. So, have not missed anything. I like this forward position here. However, that extends my line outside of Apple Pie Ridge, and I don't necessarily like that. They should come through past Lupton, and we should be able to take this ridge. Although, I think they might have started somewhere around this point. I'm not sure if we're going to get here in time to take the ridge. I'm hoping we do. Okay, so holding here. Troops are in. Let's give the order for McClellan. Have a long range. Give it to all the divisions. They take the turnpike south. They should, if they come down Milltown, we can still put ourselves in a way that we're okay. Not seeing the enemy here. Hopefully, if they come down Jacobs, this is kind of mess up what I wanted to do here. It is 13. Here they come down the turnpike. Confederates are attacking, so we're going to get on the edge here. On the edge here. Consolidate our lines down in a way that's more consistent with defending high ground. Okay, first contact. There's going to be Jones's attachment, the Army of the Potomac, facing off against skirmishers from Gorman's detachment and George Thomas. They get their cannons out there, the Louisiana batteries, Hampton's Legion, Ewell's Brigade. There's D.R. Jones out here. Are these rifled cannons? Oh, these are smooth bore. Yeah, they're both smooth bore cannons. We need to get some rifled cannons in this. small Confederate skirmishing force. The detachment under Chamberlain. See if we can't knock out their cannons. We get their cannons to retreat, but they're outside range. Fall back and retreating infilade fire towards the cannons. Up over the hill. Norman is low on ammo. Should be a skirmishers here. Thomas is low. Let's pull back all skirmishers at this point. In a retreating fire formation. We need to replenish ammo. As long as they don't start hitting my cannons, we'll be fine. We outnumber them. I do want to take a come this way, and then we are going to sweep from the south. As the Confederate advance begins, we got Thomas in contact. Chamberlain's out here on the flank. 20th Maine. George Thomas holding the center of our lines. Adolphus Williams slamming into the flank. And this should be an easy win for the Union. Again, the AI not consolidating his forces out here. We would have struggle out here, if that was the case. It is indecisive right now. Morale for them is great. Morale is okay for us. They're fighting on home territory. It's likely why the morale is so different. Let's move up. First unit breaks. We'll push up with our infantry. Louisiana battery starting to take some fire. D.R. Jones is caught, so is Ewell. And this has become ugly for the Confederates. Ugly for Johnny Reb down here. As Ewell is just getting peppered with rounds. From all directions, too. Ewell trying to come in and break our lines. To protect his cannons. Looks like Ewell will be prevented from charging in, disorganizing his charge. The cannons have been pushed out. Ewell trying to hold his own here. At this point, we will call a general charge. Capture as much of the rebel force as possible. Negley just broke. Oh, there's just broke. Negley is back. Reform our lines. The D.R. Jones did surrender, and that'll be a major victory for the Union forces. Pretty easy one for us. We outnumbered them 2-1, and we were able to use our numbers to our advantage. I don't think we're gonna have any deaths, no wounds. Colonel Jones was wounded, so not missing, he's wounded. We took 452 casualties, only 70 killed, 73 missing. We took 1,500 prisoner. Wounded 2,350 were killed there on the Confederate side. But again, Winchester, we're just holding right now. until we can get a force from Pittsburgh down into West Virginia and push into the Shenandoah Valley and kind of go from there. We're also going to have to constitute another force, likely in Ohio, the Army of the Cumberland, to deal with anything that's in Western Kentucky and, or no, Eastern Kentucky and Eastern Tennessee. That could be something we deal with later. Results of the Battle of Winchester. McClellan's going to hold strong here. He's good supply lines. Alexander is here, cutting off anything from DC. I am kind of afraid that we won't be able to do much here. And I think it's time that we get the core. 11 days, we'll go with military 2. And then we'll go with 12-month contracts. Meade over here at Pittsburgh. The other Department of Ohio. Don Carlos Buell. You have the Army of the Tennessee moving up towards the Western Army with 10,000 strong. Harney does not have that much. Maybe their army is going to go down and prevent Grant from advancing down without a fight. Unknown there, though. That is the case. So the way they retreated was towards Grafton instead of going towards Richmond. We have 16,000 here. The Shenandoah. Okay, they're starting to build up more and more. We got the Savannah Squadron. Let's go hit them at Wilmington. South Carolina. That was pretty easy there. Okay. Home Squadron is going to hold there. Momentum is on our side, though. We got 9,000 under Meade. We have to get our readiness up. Okay, we lost sight of the Army of the Tennessee. Looks like they stopped probably somewhere around here to build supplies. Makes sense. Army of the Shenandoah is marching north. McClellan will have 24,000 by the end of those reinforcements. McDowell will have 17. The Army of the Shenandoah will only be at 10, but there's another 30,000 over by Grafton. Meade, waiting to get his full complement of men in. Give them the Springfield rifled muskets. Get them up into tip-top shape. There's 6-pound field guns. Let's go with Napoleons for both. Barnard is going to have mixed cav weapons. Let's give him that Colt revolving rifle. And then that should be good with him. Full complement would be looking for those brigades 2 and 5 days. And then we will move the Army of the Pennsylvania down into Grafton. This will end up being one of the cores of the army. Hampton's Legion is coming up. We're gonna have a very big fight on our hands. Army of Shandong's got 6,000. Hampton's gonna come up and reinforce. They are responding to the incursion, so that is a good sight to see. Sykes is 47 days out, marching all the way from Tennessee. Daniel Tyler, let's get him another. Get him a brigade. What is this? Is this coming from out west? This is like the Ohio Valley and Central. Let's get some boys from Ohio. Under Orlando M. Poe. Sherman. Down here we're going to have, what is this? New York. New York. Under Sherman, this is going to be Irish Brigade. Under Sherman. We're going to start naming these slowly but surely. Rhode Island, New York, New York. Let's have another New York section. New York has a lot of recruits. We're going to come in with a 3,000 strong unit. Obviously, we're not going to have Mansfield out here. The guy is old. Zook. Zook is 40. The Zook march down. They're going to be out a lot of time. New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland. Runyon is going to have some men from... Go with more from Maryland. Have them wear some red. That's under Andrew W. Dennison. Palmer's out here. We're going to come in and we're going to have Palmer have some more boys. Let's bring them from New Hampshire. Going to be cavalry, but they're going to be guys that have some cavalry experience. Let's bring in... Who do we bring in? Command this. If I had to pick someone, let's go with Davison. Maybe. With Alfred Gibbs, actually. Cav weapons. Get another artillery portion under the command of Burton. This is the Lieutenant Colonel. We want to field some cannons, likely from somewhere that's close. Field some cannons from New Hampshire. Field full cannons. At this point. Reno. And another set here. French. Like that. So I have 14 pounds James rifles, Napoleons. I'd like this to be my rifled battery section. We don't have rifled cannons right now. So I'm going to keep it with that. I think at this point, we bring in Minty. And he takes command of Cav. Of course, we're going to have Minty's mounted rifles. Jersey Militia. First New York Division. We're gonna probably end up pulling the militia brigade together. Okay, so there's McDowell. He is going to be the one that has protection of Washington. Pennsylvania will not be able to get here to reinforce the Army of the Potomac. It's just going to have to be one that McDowell wins on his own. Okay, we do have policies. We did get that one. We're going to go with military 2. We can get our core system up and get a couple cores. It's all going to be about consolidating in Northern Virginia under probably one army, obviously. And then this. Making cores before we go down to Clarksville and Nashville. Same thing with this. Making a core where we can go down to Columbus, Paducah. We can hold Dyersburg, Jackson, and maybe this one here, this junction, before we move down into Corinth and Memphis and Holly Springs. So we want to hold this, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with Knoxville and the Cumberland Gap. So here we go. 15,000. We are going to be outnumbered. Hampton's division, or Hampton's Legion's out here. The Army of the Shenandoah will be reinforcing in 3 hours. Can McDowell win this? This is going to be a big battle here. He does have the numbers. We do have the ability to win this. Let's go. McDowell's going to field about 16,000 men. Confederates are going to field 23,000 under Joseph E. Johnston. Okay, here we go. This is fighting over the first Battle of Bull Run. Technically would be our first Battle of Bull Run at this point. We do have the ability to come in and take defensive positions quickly. The Confederates are coming down from the south. We are in a defensive position because we were holding. So if I were to take defensive positions, where would I want to be? Against a superior, a force that has superior numbers. Well, first things first, they're going to have to march up this road. Along this road, I would think I want to have a defensive position along these fences here. All the way across. If they try to come around to our flank, we'll have our cav. One cav here, so we can kind of retreat back into Henry House and Henry Hill, where we hold them here, so we're not outmaneuvered. I think that is the play. With that being the play, put McDowell in a single line formation. Hunter, Sherman's going to go up the middle. Runyon as well. Tyler's going to hold probably the flank. We only have one cavalry portion, so this cav It's going to have to scout and stay here at this junction. So not what I wanted to do, but it is something we have to do. Okay, here's Smith. We only have the 14 pounds James rifles and the 12 pound Napoleons. Which means we're going to have the James rifles here, Napoleons here, and we're going to sit in a way that makes sense. So Sherman's going to come off to the right. Sherman's going to be at the right side. Tyler's going to come off on the left side. We're going to hold Runyon likely in reserve right now. 14 pounds James rifles. Come up over here. And the 12 pound Napoleons. Let's put in this tree line here. This cav unit is going to come up to the crossroads. We're going to hold. They're going to come in. I would think that they're going to sit back and see their reinforcements come through. The reinforcements should come in the same way that they are coming. So we are in a defend position and hold. It is 1700. We could dig in for the night also. We do have that idea that if we hold this position and it's there, maybe we push up to this position. I don't particularly like that position. There's no hills. New Market is kind of exposed. You do have a road towards the rear, so there's that. But at the end of the day, let's bring them back here. I don't think we'll miss them on the junction if we're back here. We should be able to see them walk if they take this junction. Plus, it gives us an ability to respond by moving here and preventing them from using this while we fall back to Henry Hill. McDowell, give the order for all long range. Burton does not have any divisions. The key to this battle is likely going to be skirmishers. Right now, at least. They have opted to take that route. The Runyon is going to come on our right in this. They opted to come down at the crossroads, converge across, and come down on our right. If that is the case, we're going to get off our mounting. Come over here with Palmer. Come on, Runyon, get your orders and move over to the left. There he goes. That's the entire Confederate force there is moving. We need delaying action. At least you are in a defensible position. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll make some defenses parapets. And we'll dig in along this road. And then we'll put some parapets right here. Some parapets in between here. And we'll just kind of hold this section of the line. Johnston has arrived, so we do have to worry about Johnston. If that's the case, we're going to fall back at this point. What'd you turn? Weird. Oh, because you're getting instant orders, that's why. Okay. We will send out skirmishers at this point. We will put our cannons here on the top of the hill. Pull Palmer and the US Cav back. Since we have this issue, what we're going to do is we're going to pull the US Cav back around in our flank. Go across the forward and hold this side. I want to see if they actually do bypass us and come on this side of the river. If they do, we have to reconstitute our entire force to fight them across the river, and that's something I don't want to do, but I'm willing to do if I have to. Push up our skirmishers. We do not want to be hit in non-defensive positions at this point. We do need to prevent them from advancing on us. I think that should do. Okay, troops have been resupplied. We have to deploy our forces. Quartermaster's report. 82 men were wounded in the cavalry skirmish there. Our supply level is great. We'll have Minty here. He's going to move up with Palmer. I do want to be able to scout and see what's on this side. As for the defenses, we are going to build some parapets on our line here. Should be left to right, right? Yeah. Okay. If we survive to the next day, we'll hold. We will extend this line. Go across the bridge. I do want to scout and see what they have in the rear here. If this is the case, I might want to refuse Sherman into fortifications, which I'm going to do now. Push skirmishers out. Push Sherman in these fortifications. Push them in a tighter group. Sherman is going to come up and come up over here. No sign of Confederate reinforcements. Don't know if he's going to wait for his reinforcements at this point. Once he gets in... Okay, there's the reinforcements from the Confederates. They're harassing them at this point. Baker's low on ammunition. Pennsylvania, or not Pennsylvania. The Peninsular Cav is going to come up and open our faces. We do need to close this gap, but I think we're fine right now. Okay. So we're good here. We're going to pull back these skirmishers. Get them resupplied and ready to fight. We actually pushed back the Peninsula Cav. Okay, those forces will come back into the line. We're in a good defensive position at this point. At least it's my belief. We're in a good defensive position. Keys is low on ammo. We can fire from extreme range to hit Hill's unit. We can move over towards the right. Hampton's division artillery is here. All of our artillery is starting to open up. Our skirmishers under Schneck. Bartow's battalion's coming down. We're going to see Clayton's brigade. So he's going to send the whole kitchen sink at us, essentially. At this point, let's get skirmishers out on his flank then. He's going to do that. We're going to deploy skirmishers on a forward presence up into the field. We're going to delay Walton's brigade. And we're going to get him into a firing enfilade. Logically, how he's positioning himself, he's very disorganized. He's going to send Walton. At this point, let's retreat back across the river. I do not want a situation where they're trying to push Cav off of their flank, which makes sense with Palmer. So we're gonna pull back here and get out of there. We lose some of our ability to do some reconnaissance against their forces, but not all is lost. Move up here. Slow down a little bit. We did push out those brigades. Our right is secure right now. Walton is still going after Minty and the Cav. Minty's mounted rifles. Next is low on ammo. This unit here. Here's Stewart's Cav. He's going to try to run off our units here. We're going to pull out the skirmishers on the right side. I need to see what exactly is coming at us if we have a force coming down in a way. Walton is going to be here. And we're just going to stare at each other. I'm fine with that. Jackson's detachment crosses the river. And he is going to be repelled, at least the detachment is. Stuart's Cav trying to come across the river as well. They're trying to get a foothold in the river. Our skirmishers are just doing a fantastic job of keeping them on the other side. We knew this was going to be a skirmisher battle to start out. Okay, so I want to come over to Lewis Ford. Oops. Retreat. Issue the orders. Stuart's Cav is being repelled. We're losing our flank here. Let's pull back these skirmishers. These skirmishers got pretty wrecked there. Now these skirmishers are holding, but I don't know how long they hold against a superior force like this. Let's pull them back. Hold these. We can't bait them across the river. Okay. Come on, skirmishers. Pull all skirmishers back. Besides our ones on the flank. We do want to see if we have an incursion against us on Porter's flank. It would be very important to know that. So Sherman duped it out against Stonewall Jackson. Looks like Stonewall has the initiative, but we're going to deploy skirmishers on his flank to push him out of that river, so we can't get attachment to put some additional fire. They're pushing this brigade on our rear. So if that's the case, we're going to pull back into the fence line and protect this road. If they come out through this direction, we're fine because we can move Hayes. If they come back here, that risks our entire line. Not a crazy amount of men. I think it is 3,100 that we estimate. So it is a particularly large force. Push out skirmishers from here. Push them on the other side of the river. Same thing here. Let's push out skirmishers and get them to attack. Same thing here. Push out more detachment of skirmishers and go back to a skirmisher battle. Push out skirmishers here. Protect the road. Protect our flank. I'm not seeing a lot of forces come down, so I think we're okay for right now. Our flank is not being pushed. Jackson is starting to have issues holding this riverbed. Our artillery's starting to get to him at this point. Since they're going to do this... Oh wow, there is a fence here that goes all the way across this line. This was not a very good placement of my artillery. Now that I think about it. I was not expecting a line like this. Jackson looks like he's going to retreat off that line. We have a cavalry charge coming in from Stuart's Cav. They're going to try to eliminate that threat. They're in contact with skirmishers now from Richardson's detachment. Or from Richardson. We're going to move off Burnside. His detachment up here in skirmishers. Jackson, Stonewall Jackson is retreating from the field. This is a very precarious situation here. Although we are holding, our morale is a little bit better. But that does not mean much. This is our first contact for these, for some of these troops. And that could spell disaster if we get pushed. The Confederates are not trying to do anything but probe our lines right now. Mostly because I don't think that Johnston has his entire force here. They want to hit my cav. So what we're going to do... Defensive position here. We want to occupy this force. It's a large infantry force. And right now, I'm still only seeing the 1st Division. Or the 1st Army. I've not seen... I've seen sections of Johnston on the field. Yeah, I've seen his cav. And Jackson's brigade. They just have a lot of artillery. We have a lot of divisions, but they're smaller divisions because we had to reconstitute to defend Washington. Okay, Stuart's Cav is retreating. Do we pull Hayes off the line here? Bring him across the river? No. I think our cav can handle that. Maybe. Okay. Pull our skirmishers back. Once this group gets back into position, at this point, since they're going to be here, we need to get them on this side. It's not a fast trek by any means. Neck is in position. We will pull them back. Skirmishers got wrecked. Coming at me in a line like this was not the smartest idea, but it was definitely not the dumbest idea. Okay. Pull back on the skirmishers. Same thing here. We get ready for... I don't think we're going to have a Confederate assault against us. So since we're moving our artillery... we can constitute our lines more down like this. Okay, Walton just wanted to hold my calf. I guess that was his idea of holding. We have a major victory showing. Once we get this artillery in position, we might counterattack at this point. But I want to get this artillery into position. Napoleons. What we're going to do is we're going to collapse our line. We're going to push out these two brigades to assault this. We're going to collapse down. Because it is pretty equal, right? No. Not. We haven't seen that many. We've pushed a lot of their forces off the field, though. That's the thing. Okay, general assault with Porter, Burnside, Richardson, and Schneck. Good, Porter. Come on, get there. Ow! Here's the general assault. Their first one fails. Go across the river. And the enemy is retreating from the field. If that is the case, we will do a full attack. Waltners as well. Pull the cav. Charge! Charge through their lines, men! The Rebs are in complete disarray. Their artillery is out in the open with no infantry support. Get them to surrender. And that will be a big rout of the army of the Shenandoah against Joseph E. Johnston. I think it's about time we bring in a new commander. At least the Confederates bring in a new commander. We only lost 1,200 men in that large charge. Right one? Let's see the commander report. See if anyone was captured. Captain French was killed for them. And Gists. Alright. Let's go over to Hampton's division. Randolph was wounded. Captain Walker. Colonel Clayton. Frost division. Hello. On our side, pretty good fight. We did lose 23% of, or they lost 23 and 32 respectively. We lost 8% of our force. They still outnumber us until we get reinforcements at this point. That'll do it for this episode, guys. Thank y'all for joining me. Don't forget to hit the like below, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Later.